Hey, welcome back to Frank's Model Works. My name is Frank. When last we spoke, I was going to be spraying 2K Clear, pigmented or not, onto a paint chip to see if that's the direction we want to go with this 2010 Mustang GT. I was going to be priming and painting the parts and possibly putting together sub-assemblies. And if all went well, we'd be painting the body, putting the stripes on it, see what's going on, and then getting clear coat on it. I'm actually filming this after the completion of all of these activities, so I know which way this ends. You don't, so stick around and watch. I guarantee you're going to enjoy it. You're going to sit there and watch like most people do. I mean, this isn't bated breath kind of stuff, folks. But, watch. All right, we're over by the paint booth. We're ready to put some 2K Clear with the pigments on it as a test to see how it's going to look. I did spray some Kona Blue onto the paint chip. In the first corner, I'm going to be just spraying straight up 2K Clear without any pigments in it. I want to have like a control to see what it would look like with nothing in it, just the clear. And then each corner will get a different pigment, and I'll choose which one I think looks best. When working with 2K Clear, there's no compromise here. You have to wear a respirator, especially if you're spraying it indoors. It's a must. It's not even a question or debatable. The effects on your health will be immediate. So if you're going to be using 2K Clear, you got to get yourself a cartridge respirator. All right, we're going to spray this out, and then I'll see the way it looks, and I'll bring you back in once everything's sprayed onto it. All right, we'll see you in a little bit. So, were we successful? We didn't burn the house down. It's always a plus. I'm going to put you up there, and we'll take a look at the chip and see what we got. Okay, so was our testing a success? I'm going to say it was, because I've made the decision based on these results that I'm just going to spray the Kona Blue on and just put plain old 2K Clear over it. Yes, that is my thumbprint right there. I did kind of do that on purpose. I do that to see if the clear was cured. But anyway, so this is the interference blue. It's a really nice metallic blue. It's got some depth in it because of the pigments. This is the true blue, and this is silver. I had some leftover 2K, and I just added some silver pigments to it, just to see what would happen. I knew that this wasn't really going to be an option. These kind of look the same. I mean, you might not be able to tell, but these look the same up close. And although they're a really nice color, if you remember Testa's old spray can sapphire blue metallic, it actually looks like that, but with a much more fine metallic flake. These are really nice colors. I like the way it looks. I like the effect, but I don't like the effect for this project. And the reason why I call this a success is that I made this decision based on this and not having sprayed it on the model and now having to worry about, well, how am I going to get this off? Alright, so one of the things that I really want to accomplish the most with this first series of videos is not so much how I do the things that I do in scale modeling, but why. I notice a lot on social media, people who are new to the hobby or returning to the hobby are frequently frustrated by a lot of things, but one of them mainly is that they don't have success with painting. So what I'm trying to do is not necessarily direct them or give them an order, no, this is what you have to use. It's not what I'm doing. The only thing I'm going to be doing is saying why I use the stuff that I use. And like I said in the last video, I use modeling specific paints. I have the most experience with them. I know what they're going to do through my own experimentation and my own experience. And I don't want to see people have to deal with the frustration of the learning curve of not using modeling specific paints. Now, if you've used them for 30 years, my hat's off to you. You have my undying respect, and I'm not taking a shot at you. I'm not telling anybody what they should do. I'm just trying to save people from some frustration. What you'll also notice about me is the joke is always on me. I'm big into self-deprecating humor. So I'm not going to stand here and say, well, you know, you should only do this, you should only do that, and make fun of people who don't do the things the way I do them. I'm not like that. I just wanted to get that point across. Going forward, we're going to start to see why I get the results that I get and how those results inform my decisions. So, at the end of the day, I want to save you some time and some frustration. So now the fun part begins. We've already figured out where we're going to be going. Now we're going to actually do it. So I'm going to start priming pieces for the sub-assemblies of the engine, the interior, the chassis. And then we're going to put it all together. I'm going to paint the body, clear it, get everything ready. And once that's done, you know, I might interlace some speeded up footage of me doing that. Once it's done, we're going to have, hopefully, a nice little sub-assembly show-off and then final assembly. It's going to take some time, though. So, hang in there. Okay, so where I last left off, I was showing you the card that I did the test on. And a lot has gone on since then. It's been 2 weeks since I put a video out, but I have done a lot of stuff. Namely, paint all the parts. I painted the body, and I just put 2K clear on it, and it's curing right now. Hopefully I can get that out of the protective area where I keep it while it's drying. The display case. By the end of this video and show you how it looks, because I think it looks pretty good. But I'm going to take you off of there, and I'm going to put you up on the stand, and we're going to take a look at the parts that I did, and then when that's done, you're going to take a look at my friend Revell's YouTube channel, The Muscle Car Modeler. Because Revell did something incredibly nice for me this week. He gave me a shout out that basically doubled my subscribers in a day. And I cannot thank him enough for that. But I'm going to try to thank him at least 7, 8, 14 times during this video. And I do have other channel shout outs that I have to make, because the outpouring that I've received from the community this week has just been overwhelming. And I'm walking around on thin air because of the really wonderfully nice things that people have done for me this week. So, let's get you up there, we'll take a look at this stuff, and then we'll hopefully, maybe we'll see the body. Parts. We got them. Okay, so I primed and painted the sub-assemblies of the model. Okay? I'm not going to be doing any wiring on this one. Just because I really don't feel like it. It would be more in depth than I want to go. I did try to dress the engine up a little bit with these valve covers. I don't even know if something like this would be available for the full-size car, but I think they look nice. I like the way they look. This blue paint is actually Gaia Notes primary metallic blue. It's a nice shade. So I get that on. I try to incorporate that. I like the that metallic look. I realize it's a little dated. It's like, 20 years ago, but I like the way it looks. I try to incorporate it as much as I can. Now, for the interior, I think that the red came out sharp. I did wind up going with the Tamiya dull red in their LP line. And I did shift it a little bit with a light gray. And I think it came out well. I masked off and painted the stripes. The stripes, the white stripes are just flat white with a little bit of buff added to it. You rarely see like really stark white in modern cars these days, so you always want to shift the color a little bit. For the carpeting, I used embossing powder. I don't go too nuts with the carpeting because you almost never can see it. And then up here in the front, I used the body color. This is the Kona Blue. This is how it looks right out of the bottle. I did some detail painting for the battery, and so that's that. And then underneath here, in the wheel wells, I did a dark gray that I repeated on the rear wheel wells. Now this color is a combination of Tamiya XF4 yellow green. This is like a zinc chromate, the actual zinc chromate color for like World War II planes. Now, and here's a quick side note. In order to make actual olive drab, you would take this color and add black to it, and it makes olive green. So there's that piece of useless information for the week. But I used this color because I looked online for the underside, and I saw a Mustang that was on a rotisserie, and it had this is probably like an anti-corrosion, like a Cosmoline coating that goes on over what looked like either an epoxy gray or maybe even just a primer. But what they're trying to do is reduce the rusting out of the car. So I got that on there. This was fun to mask these areas. And then I picked out some details, some lines, using the picture as a reference. So that's where that stands. Move this over here. Now, I mentioned that I masked everything off. If you want to help yourself out, do yourself a favor. Pick up one of these Infinity Easy Cutting Type A mat. It's almost like a cutting mat like this. It's very similar material to that, but it has built-in lines so that you can just use like an X-Acto knife or a scalpel blade to cut strips of tape, and it ranges in size from 0.4 millimeters up to 1 millimeter, and it's very, very useful when you're masking off stripes and things of that nature. There are several types of these cutting mats, but I find that I use this one the most, the Type A. These are the other ones. I don't really use these very often. It's been a while, to be honest with you. But they're available. You can get them on spruebrothers.com. I believe that's where I bought these. These are several years old, but I use this thing a lot. I use this on almost every project that I do. So I did the chassis, did the interior. Here's how the interior door panels came out. Now for these, I used Tamiya XF69 NATO Black. Where are you? This is it's a black that shifts almost greenish gray. Like there's a little bit. I guarantee you, if you added some white to this, there would be a green component to this. But when it dries, it's a nice dark gray. Now the interior of modern Fords, what we might paint as black, if you get real close, and I drive Fords, all the cars in my family are Fords, that interior, that black, it's a really, really dark gray. So it's worth it to use the XF59, because I think it's the closest match that you can get to what the plastics that Ford uses inside. And again, with that red, I carried it over in the door panel. I went off of a reference photo that I found online. Now, for the dashboard, I don't know if in 2010 Ford had a big screen infotainment system, but they provide a decal, and there is a cutout for it in the dashboard. I had a 2005 Escape hybrid that had a screen that was about that size, so maybe. I couldn't find online. I couldn't find anything that had that, but I put it in there anyway. And then they also provide you with gauge decals that appear to be backlit, as if you can adjust the LED backlighting. So let me see if I can get you in there close so you could see that. This one is like a bluish purple. I like the way that looks. So that's where that stands. My suspension pieces, any reference photo that I found online showed the pumpkin was painted a metallic color. Actually, a lot of them were rusted out. This thing, I don't want to weather it too badly. I want this to emulate a car that somebody's starting to love again. So they're adding, newer suspension pieces. They're taking care of the exhaust and stuff like that. They're keeping the undercoating in good shape, and they're keeping the interior in good shape, and starting to dress up the engine a little bit. I don't think this would qualify as a box stock build, because I did add a couple pieces of aluminum, and I did modify the suspension. So, but for all intents and purposes, it's not like I'm adding wiring or anything, or super detailing. I'm just basically paint detailing and getting as much detail as I can out of the kit. So far, everything that I've put together has fit very well. All of my test fitting, it's been really, it's a really nice kit that goes together well. And I am gonna pause for a second, and I'm gonna go take a look at see how the body looks. Make sure it's not in that like really worrisome state of curing where it's still kind of tacky. I got a couple of naturally, it's me, I got dust in it, but I don't want to make it worse. So let me pause for a second here, see how it's going with the body, and I'll be right back. Okay, here is the body. in Kona Blue. Got the 2K clear on it. It's looking okay. Now, if you see the stripe, I got the red stripe in there. That was basically the GT stripe. If you notice in the GT stripe, there's like a little space. There's a small stripe, then a space, then a large stripe, then a space, then another small stripe over here in the GT stripe on the decal sheet. So what I tried to do was replicate that, but where the space between the stripes is the red. So, and it came out, that Kona Blue, let me tell you something. Like this is shop lighting. So later on when I'm taking pictures and once this thing is done, this is some gorgeous, gorgeous color. I mean, it is just beautiful. And I like the way the stripe is working. And I think the combination of the Kona Blue with this interior, I think that's just going to be a sharp looking model with the complementary blue for the valve covers. I think we're looking pretty good. Now, let me take this body and put it back in its protective display case so that it can continue to gas out and not get any more dust in it, because it has a couple of pieces of dust in it already. We're gonna have to sand it and polish it, but I think we're gonna be okay. So that Kona Blue, that came out wonderful. I wasn't expecting it to look that good. I was actually worried with the spray out card, but then again, it's flat, so you know the curves of the body bring out the depth, and then you know along with the 2K clear, it really brings out what that color is really meant to be. And I think when I couple that with the red on the interior, with the silver stripe and the red accent stripes, I think we're heading in a good direction with that. I like the way it's coming out. I like the way it looks, and I'm going to be entering that into Mike from Scale Speedworks into his Mustang 60th anniversary group build. I've edited the 2 previous videos to include the hashtag of Mustang 60. This video will also have it, and I'm reasonably certain I can get this done by the deadline of April 17th. And I'll set the final reveal of this for that date. In terms of shout-outs, I want to touch back on that. Yesterday, I'm filming this on March 10th. Yesterday, on March 9th, Joe from Model Building Corner gave me a shout-out on his channel, and the hell was that about? I really appreciate that. The model building community has always been very, very gracious towards me, and I've tried to give back as much as I can. And to be honest, the past week I've been floored by the positive feedback and just the generosity of the shout outs. It really is heartening, and I'm not going to joke around when I say this. It really means a lot to me, and I really do appreciate it a lot. Angelo from Angelo's Workbench also reached out in the comments, offering me help with editing, and because it's still it's still a task for me. In the 2 weeks since I put a video out, that was probably the last time I edited. Now I'm gonna have to edit this. I'm already sweating it because I forget. I'm getting old, kids. But that's what we'll do. We'll edit this, and I just want to express my gratitude. I am very grateful. Going forward, in addition to this, I'm also in the same vein as Revell does on his channel. I'm going to go over whatever old builds I still have in my possession. I'm going to start going into how I built them, what the motivations were behind it, and get a little more in depth than the descriptions that go along with my other social media pages. So we'll do that. I also, and hopefully everybody's reminding me in the comments, I do have to do this standalone airbrush video. I actually did shoot some content for it because I ran into a problem with one of my airbrushes, and I fixed it. I showed the fix on how to do that. So there's something to look forward to. Beyond that, this year being the 60th anniversary of the Ford Mustang, I am going to be building Mustangs. The previous two models to this were Mustangs. And I did a bracket racer Fox body. I did the 1968 Bullet Mustang. I'm doing this one. I think the next one's probably going to be either a NASCAR or maybe the Tamiya GT4. I want to get a few of them under my belt for this year, for the anniversary. But I'll also try to keep you entertained with my acerbic wit, my stunning good looks, and whatever other pearls of modeling wisdom I can bestow upon you. I do appreciate, I really appreciate you coming along for the ride. And hopefully that's another thing. Hopefully, we should start having a pool. How many times I say hopefully in the video, because it's annoying the hell out of me right now. But let's hope it's not annoying you. Until next time, my friends, be well. And again, thank you very much. Thank you. I'm honored to be among you. Take care.